In the headlines, Nigerians lament hardship faced to deposit money at state central bank branches. INEC chairman says commission ready for election overcomes a cash challenge. Atiku Tinubu in last-minute campaign ahead of Saturday polls. And on the foreign scene, Israeli diplomat removed from African Union summit. Hello and welcome to Trust TV News Updates. I am Martia Umar. Thank you for joining. And now the news in full. Depositors of old 500 naira and 1,000 naira notes have accused the Central Bank of Nigeria, Jos Bank, of deliberate refusal to collect their deposits, even when the deadline for the collection of the notes was yet to expire. The depositors who had gathered at the Jos branch have said that they were at the bank since Friday morning but were not attended to. Ado Musa completes the report.
Most of the depositors who gathered at the bank's building said they had arrived at the bank in the morning of Friday but were neglected by the officials of the CBN. They said even the codes they were asked to generate before filling the forms were not possible as internet connection was poor, and called on the CBN to do the needful to address the problem. I am from Toro local government area of Bauchi State. In the village, people don't have accounts with banks, so they gather their own money and ask us to deposit for them at the CBN. We have been here since morning, but they haven't collected the money. Honestly, we are in a difficult situation. Things are not good here at all. We have been at the CBN since morning. The officials of the bank told us to generate codes before we can deposit, but the network has been bad. We just don't know what to do. We have left everything to Allah. Whatever happens, we will accept it. If we lose the money, that is what Allah has permitted to happen. Many depositors have alleged that the CBN was not ready to collect the money, adding that the CBN's explanation on how and where to deposit the money was deceptive. Ado Musa, Trust TV News, Jos.
It wasn't so different in Gombe State as cash depositors thronged the Central Bank of Nigeria branch in the state to swap old Naira notes spent hours without being attended to. Ibrahim Ismail reports that some of the residents struggled to get the officials of the bank to receive their old notes. The report.
This is how Nigerians gathered at the entrance of the Central Bank of Nigeria CBN Gombe State branch, struggling to submit forms generated on the website of the CBN to enable them submit their old notes. Some of them have spent hours in queues.
I've been here since morning. Actually, the process is going well, but the problem is that there is a lot of conjunctions. So we are trying to write our names to follow it accordingly. But the problem is that some people here some people came here maybe to try to disorganize what we are doing. But actually we are not happy for what is going on. But we don't have alternative rather than to abide with the rule of the CBN.
Tunde Sapi, around 6 o'clock a day. I follow line, enter.
Okay, have you submit your form?
I don't submit.
What is the problem?
We follow line. My own problem.
A team of businessmen were captured with bags of old Naira notes amounting to over 40 million Naira. The money is almost 50 million Naira. Meanwhile, internet service providers make fortune generating online codes to those willing to retrieve old notes to the CBN.
Yeah, of course. For me, it is a newly business opportunity, and I am using it wisely so that to earn a living.
It could be recalled that the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, has given a 7-day window for Nigerians to submit all notes for deposit in their accounts. From Gombe, Ibrahim Ismail reporting for Trust TV.
And now to Lagos State, where the governor, Babajide Sanwo-Olu, on Saturday said that there was no justification for Nigerians to attack public or private property over Naira redesign. He also warned that the law enforcement agents had received clear instructions to take full control and ensure zero tolerance for acts of arson, violence and destruction. In address following protest and violent demonstration in some parts of Lagos on Friday, Sanwo-Olu enjoined all law-abiding Lagos residents to go about their lawful activities without fear. He implored everyone to remain calm and avoid any form of violence that might throw the state into chaos. The governor empathized with Lagosians over the hardship caused by the federal government's currency swap policy. And meanwhile, the chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, Mahmood Yakubu, has reassured Nigerians that the 2023 elections will hold on the 25th of February 2023 and March 11 for the governorship election as scheduled, as cash and logistic arrangements are already in place. Mahmood gave the assurance when the chairman and his national commissioners inspected training centers for supervisory presiding officers and the national collation centers for the presidential election. Noah Samson was there and filed in this report.
Are you assuring me that your loyalty is to Nigeria and Nigerians only?
Yes, sir.
The INEC chairman said the inspection exercise was imperative to make sure that all necessary logistics are in place ahead of the polls.
Logistics in terms of movement of sensitive and non-sensitive materials, we are good to go. By this time next week, Nigerians will be voting in over 176,000 polling units nationwide. And the outcome of that process for presidential election will be compiled here, and the choice made by Nigerians for the next president of the country will also be announced at this venue. So in essence, that is the purpose of the two trips we have undertaken today. One for the training of presiding officers, the other one inspection of facilities at the ICC, which will serve as our collation center.
He also used the opportunity to address concerns about election security, logistics, and cash problem.
We visited the CBN last week on the issue of cash for payment of some of the services, not all, some of the services that we are going to engage on election day. The bulk of payment for goods, works, and services is made by the Commission through electronic transfer. But there are certain critical services that we have to remunerate by cash. And that's why we went to the CBN for, and it's a small percentage of the budget. And the central bank has assured us that, as I keep saying, we will not suffer any encumbrances in that regard. So there are no issues with respect to that. On what is happening around the country, the protest that we have mentioned is a security matter. This is an issue that we are going to discuss with the security agencies. As you know, we have our own role clearly cut out, and others also have their own roles clearly cut out. But the most important thing is that we're working together. And they have assured, that's the security agencies, assured and reassured us that they will secure the environment for elections to hold peacefully nationwide. So we have no issues in that respect.
In all these engagements, the Commission has always reiterated its stand that it will deliver to Nigerians an election that will reflect the will of the people. Noel Samson, Trust TV News, Abuja.
And the People's Democratic Party presidential candidate Atiku Abubakar says he's more than determined to unite and secure the country to sustain peace and development if elected president on the 25th of February 2023. Atiku said this in Yola as he rounds off his presidential campaign rally in Adamawa with hundreds of supporters in attendance. Silas Lawans reports that 5 political parties at the rally adopted Atiku Abubakar as their presidential candidate. The report.
It is nothing but a warm welcome from the residents for PDP presidential candidate, accompanied by national, state executive members and other chieftains of the party as they prepare for the February 25th presidential election.
We truly thank you for coming out both on the streets and on this rally ground to welcome your father, your son, your own, Waziri Adamawa. We want to thank the people of Adamawa State for giving to us a leader who understands Nigeria, a leader who is humble.
The leading candidate by the grace of God for this election is Atiku Abubakar. And the leading ticket, and the ticket that will deliver Nigeria, that reflects the true character of Nigeria, is Atiku Okowa.
A man who is a general that can provide the rescue mission. The man who is coming with a blueprint is who? Alhaji Atiku. Alhaji Atiku. Of which party? Of which party? That is our message.
5 out of the 18 political parties contesting in the 2023 general elections adopt Atiku as their presidential candidate.
We, the leaders of the 5 political parties, namely the APM, the AA, the ADC, the APP, and LRM, after extensive deliberations and consultations with relevant stakeholders, have decided to adopt the People's Democratic Party Atiku Abubakar Ifeanyi Okowa ticket for 2023 presidential election coming on Saturday, 25th February 2023.
The PDP presidential candidate Atiku Abubakar is overwhelmed with the support and solidarity accorded to him.
Today is the final day of our rally all over the country. I want to use this opportunity not only to address the people of Adamawa State, but the entire country. I want to thank all Nigerians from all the states of the Federation who in the last 6 months have come out to show solidarity, to show support to our great party and to myself.
The People's Democratic Party presidential campaign rally, which started 6 months back in Oyo, Akwa Ibom, is rounding off in Yola, the Adamawa state capital. Salis Lawan, Trust TV News, Yola.
The presidential candidate of the All Progressives Congress, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, says that reviving the economy of Borno State and support for victims of insurgency will be looked into if he is elected president. Tinubu stated this when he, his vice and other party faithfuls visited Maiduguri for their rally on Saturday. Beatrice Kurutse has the rest of the story.
The streets of Maiduguri metropolis was agog as supporters of the APC came out in their numbers for the APC presidential rally of Tinubu and Shettima in Borno State. To many, this was not unexpected as Borno is the home state of Kashim Shettima, the vice presidential candidate of the APC. The party flag bearer and officials of the party paid a courtesy call on the Shehu of Borno.
With regard to the oil exploration, the other time we are told that there have been an oil and all this things and something has to be done about it in earnest. But not at all. For whatever reason we don't know, that project was abandoned in the name of security. Okay, if we have security problem here, what of the other places of the country?
Meanwhile, the El Kanami Sports Center was filled with thousands of supporters and party faithful from across the state. Governors of Jigawa, Kebbi, Niger, Kano, and the national chairman, among others, were in attendance. Apart from the will of God, nothing will deprive us of victory in the election. In fact, with the votes from Jigawa, Borno, Kano, Katsina, we will defeat them next Saturday. We will provide jobs for our youth and we will recharge an oil exploration in Lake Chad Basin. The APC presidential candidate said he will revamp the economy, bring development in the country, and assured that his government will give succor to Borno indigents who have suffered deprivation from insurgency.
You have faced challenges. That is over now. You have suffered deprivation. You have suffered homelessness. Some people created orphans. We will take care of all of you.
The party also received the campaigns from the NNPP, PDP and SDP. As the campaigns are drawing to a conclusion, Nigerians are hopeful that whoever becomes the president will address critical sectors of the nation to give Nigerians a better life.
Still on preparations towards the 2023 general elections, elders in the Southeast have called on the various authorities and security agencies to stop the ongoing killings and threat to the conduct of the 2023 general elections in the zone. In his message, elder statesman and chairman of the Council of Elders of Ohanaeze Ndigbo Worldwide, Emmanuel Iwanya, cautioned all separatist groups in the Southeast to give peace a chance so that the region can participate in the 2023 general elections without hitches. Similarly, former Minister of Health, Professor Ihechukwu Madubike, said it was high time the legitimate authorities of the state began to show their strength and assure the citizens that no group of non-state actors will be permitted to disrupt the peace, especially of the general elections in the Southeast. On his part, former chieftain of the National Democratic Coalition, Ralph Obioha, urged the residents of the zone to ignore any threat to boycott the general elections and come out to exercise their franchise, especially now that a candidate from the zone, Peter Obi, is contesting for the office of the president. You're watching Trust TV News Updates. Still to come, we'll take a look at NSCDC arresting 2 drug addicts in Lafia. Details of this story and more after the break. Stay with us.
At last, the elections are here. Let's turn out en masse on election day and vote Asiwaju Bola Tinubu as President of Nigeria for a renewed hope and a better Nigeria. Vote APC, the party that shows a broom.
Welcome back. If you're just joining us, this is the news updates on Trust TV. A reminder of our top story. We told you earlier that Nigerians lament hardship faced to deposit money at state central bank branches. And INEC chairman says commission ready for election overcomes cash challenge. And moving on, the Lagos State Police Command said its officers from the Elemoro Division have nabbed one famous Ogolua and Ibrahim Omoni while escaping with their loot after robbing their victim. The police public relations officer in the state, Benjamin Hundeyin, disclosed this in a statement on Saturday. He said the suspects were arrested around 1 a.m. on Thursday following credible information received by the police about an ongoing robbery in the Abijo JRA junction of Ipeju Lekki. And the items recovered from the suspect, according to the PPRO, include 2 locally made pistols and live cartridges, 1 Techno Android phone and 1 Zat Android phone. Hundeyin said that the further investigation led to the arrest of the gun dealer, one Taufik Soliu. He disclosed that the suspect, who confessed to have robbed at the same spot several times, will be arraigned in court at the conclusion of investigations. The 3 suspected drug addicts have been arrested by the Nasarawa State Command of the Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps in Lafia. The State Commandant of the Corps, Abba Bafa, made this known while parading the suspects in Lafia. Abubakar Abdullahi sent in this report, was presented from our studio.
The Nasarawa State Command of the Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps, in keeping with the mandate of the command for securing communities across the country, has continued hunting down criminals of all categories, leading to the arrest of many in the state. Parading the 3 suspected drug addicts in the state, the State Commandant of the NSCDC, Abba Buffa, said the suspects were arrested at Kurikio Road, Datunkowa in Lafia, an area facing criminal threats in the state capital. The Commandant, represented by the Public Relations Officer of the command, Jerry Victor, explained that the command gathered intelligence on the activities of the arrested persons and swung into action that led to their arrest.
In Datunkowa area of Lafia, they have been suspecting or they have a little rate of crimes and criminality in that area. And of course, the commandant of NSCDC, National State Command, Commandant Abbas Bapa Mohammed, deemed fit to fix in surveillance within that areas. And within yesterday, those suspects were caught in that area. Of course, we have some in them, in possession of them. We have some wraps of bundles of India hemp. We have they have a very sharp-edged knife with them, and also some substances that, of course, this is what they use in aiding them in committing all these kind of crimes we have in the society. So just like the way the saying goes, if you don't curtail them taking this kind of drugs, at the end of the day, they will end up causing a menace to the society.
He said after undergoing investigations, the 3 suspects will be charged to court.
So as it is now, investigation is still on, and they are very, very collaborative, and they are giving us more information concerning the cartel involved in this kind of act. So as it is, investigation is still on. Immediately after investigation is concluded, they will be charged to court.
The Commandant appealed to the public to always cooperate with security agencies by giving them appropriate information that would ease the job of fighting crime and ensure peace in the society. One of the suspects, Ovie Jonathan, admitted to committing the offense and attributed their action to evil influence.
Amidst the allegations of incessant land fraud in Gombe State, the Gombe Geographic Information System, GOGIS, has issued 500 digital certificates of occupancy to address land disputes and cloning of CFOs in the state. Last year, the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, said land fraud is becoming more rampant in Gombe. At a press conference on Friday, the Director General, Gombe Geographic Information System, Kabir Usman Hassan, said the government has captured over 14,000 plots on its database. Landowners who received their digital certificate of occupancy also shared experience of the application process.
We have captured all the manual files to digital one, and you cannot clone our certificate. Because we have a security on it. We have a security. Nobody can clone the certificate, as you can see. We have been calling those who have the manual certificate to come here and collect what we call update form. When you fill that update form, we'll upgrade you to a digital certificate in 1 week.
Seriously, that my property is authentic. Nobody can come to drag it with me because it was signed by His Excellency, and I'm grateful.
I know of a particular property that I had to buy twice, and so it's something that really wasn't palatable for me. So, but I had to buy it twice because of the dispute that was on the land. But now that this digitalization of CFO has come, the coordinates of the land can be captured easily, and so that now makes it impossible for somebody to come and claim a property that has been assigned to you as an individual.
And on the foreign scene, a senior Israeli diplomat have been removed from the African Union's annual summit in Ethiopia as a dispute over Israel's accreditation to the bloc escalated. A video posted on social media showed security personnel walking Ambassador Sharon Bali out of the auditorium during the opening ceremony of the summit in Addis Ababa, on Saturday. The spokesperson for the African Union's chairman, Eba Kalondo, said the diplomat was removed because she was not the duly accredited Israeli ambassador to Ethiopia, the official who was expected. An AU official later told AFP news agency that the diplomat who was asked to leave had not been invited to the meeting, with a non-transferable invitation issued only to Israel's ambassador to the African Union, Aleli Admasu. The move was swiftly condemned by Israel. And onto sports, a Plateau State duo of Kiefer Williams and Blessing Solomon made history as the first winners of the national cross-country race held at the Reno Gold Course in Jos, Plateau State. Kiefer ran 31 minutes 38 seconds to win the race ahead of the 2022 National 300-meter steeplechase champion, and Stephen Joshua ran 31 minutes 51 seconds, and Emmanuel Guang ran 32 minutes 57 seconds, and respectively. Williams' time is a personal best for him and a course record. The police sergeant expressed his delight after the race and wants the Federal Ministry of Youth and Sports Development and the Athletics Federation of Nigeria to give distance runners more competitions. Still in sport, the Confederation of African Football, CAF, has appointed Moroccan Jalal Jaid as referee for Sunday's African Under-20 Cup of Nations Group A battle between seven-time champions Nigeria and Senegal. In the match scheduled for the Cairo International Stadium, Jaid will be assisted by Tunisian Mohamed Bakir, Assistant Referee 1, and Algerian Hamza Bouzet, Assistant Referee 2, and Ivorian Clemens Pan. The match will kick off at 7 p.m. Egypt time and 6 p.m. Nigerian time, and 3 hours after the tournament's opening game between host Egypt and Mozambique at the same venue. And that brings us to the end of the news update at this hour. For more, subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us across all our social media platforms. I am Martia Umar. Thank you for watching and stay tuned.